Hello everyone, it's Kay and I have another fall mini to show you. And this one is made from scraps from the Fall is in the Air Echo Park collection. And let me just explain a little bit about why I chose to make this album this way. And then after we walk through it, I will show you how I put the base of it together. And this little mini measures 6 inches wide by 5.5 tall, and I wanted to make a little mini that used up the papers that I had left. I had a few papers left over from the 12 by 12 size, and then I have a 6 by 6 pad left over, so I'm going to make another little accordion box that I made before with the little 6 by 6 pads, but I had this little bit of paper left over, and you know, sometimes when I have leftovers, I just don't feel like I want to spend a lot of, I don't know, effort or a lot of cardstock just to make a little folio type album, you know, to cover all the chipboard and then all the paper that you have to use and everything. And so I just wanted something that I didn't have to have it mounted on cardstock, the paper, or to use it to cover the chipboard, and so that's why I made this little mini the way I did. And it's really very simple, straightforward, and it just has a very organic feel to me rather than a book feel. So it's just a different feel, and I think this is just simple and cute and perfect for little scraps. So just a little explanation on the cover. This is from the Fall is in the Air ephemera, die cuts, whatever you want to call it, and I mounted this piece onto chipboard, which is then mounted on a piece of brown paper, just a really thin strip. I don't know if you can see that, a really thin strip of brown paper, and then again another ephemera piece that has the little dots on this that I put on the side. These dots also were in the collection, and then mounted onto this piece of paper right here, and then mounted onto 3 papers, which this is a great way to use up your scraps if you don't have enough to cover the whole 6 by 5.5 inches. So I just put this piece here and this here, and then put that over the middle to cover up where the seam was. This little floral embellishment I got in one of the local chain stores, craft stores, I don't know which one. And also this ribbon here is just a soft grainy ribbon. And so I'll open it up here. Oh, I guess I should show you the binding before we go any farther, huh? You know, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Okay. And so on the binding here, sorry about that. So on the binding here, it's a accordion binding, like I said, and excuse me, and it just has a lot of room. So if you do have, like, you wanted to use big embellishments and something like this, you could. I mean, the weight of the paper would not support anything really heavy, but you could put something thick in here, like big lightweight flowers or something. And there's always room for pictures, and the nice thing about it is it'll lay really flat. The only thing that keeps it from laying flat is this floral embellishment here, but if it weren't for that, it would lay really flat. So on this inside cover here, I have this 4 by 6 card, and this was my second favorite animal in the collection of this paper. Love these cute little adorable owls. And just to jazz it up, I put those little dots on the 4 corners. And here's a pocket that I just trimmed with some rickrack. And I put the ephemera card on some cardstock, so you can put a picture there. You can put some little journaling back here, or just another picture. And you know, you can put more pictures in here. But love those owls. So cute. And I love how they're all different colors. This really was the cutest line. And this page here, I have a slide out or a belly band, I guess you could call it, made out with the ephemera piece. So I just glued the sides here. And this is my favorite animal. Love this little bear with the picnic basket. Oh my gosh, so cute. And the ribbon on the top helps keep it from maybe going all the way through. And this here is actually not from Echo Park. This is from Simple Stories collection, but I just have these little bits and pieces in my Thanksgiving box. So I just thought it would be cute to go right there. And also on this tree here was also from that Simple Stories collection. But the tag is, this is from leftover 12 by 12 pieces from the Echo Park Follows in the Air collection. So I made this little tag and just added some more bric-a-brac. And then this little tag here was part of the sticker collection. I just backed it on paper so that it could be, if you needed room to tuck the picture under there. And this little ephemera piece made into a tuck spot with the dots on the four corners. And then another little ephemera piece with the rickrack on the top there just to give it some interest. And I had to just leave that plain. I don't know if you dare cover it up with a picture. No, you would, but it's so cute. And then this is also Simple Stories. I just needed a little more blue than I had in leftovers. And this cute little family tuck spot there, and then this is just glued on the back. Usually when I'm doing small minis like this, it's just to showcase a few of my favorite pictures. I don't really need an album that holds every single picture I take. I usually don't take that many pictures at Thanksgiving anyway, because I really enjoy making as much as I can Thanksgiving dinner completely from scratch. There's a couple things that I don't make from scratch, but a lot of it I do from scratch. So something I enjoy, so I usually am not the one taking a bunch of pictures on Thanksgiving. So anyway, that's my little album, and I will show you how to put something like that together. Very simple and easy. So you're going to need 2 chipboards. Now, the one I'm making now, I decided that I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So this one's going to be 6 inches, and I'm also going to change the orientation. So instead of being longer this way, I'm going to have it longer this way. So it will be 6 inches by 6.5. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 6.5. And so I don't know why I tied this all neat up and put it away. I wanted to show you the inside again. So you can see here that I made the binding smaller than the chipboard. So there's a 1/4 of an inch here and a 1/4 of an inch here and a 1/4 of an inch here. So if this is 6.5, I want a 1/4 of an inch top and bottom, so that's a 1/2 an inch less. So I'm going to be cutting my paper to, excuse me, 6.5. And I got one started here already. I'm sorry, I said 6.5. It's going to be 6 inches tall, and that gives me, 1/4 of an inch top and bottom. And to get as many accordion folds as I want, I need the paper to be 4 inches wide. I'm going to do it the same as I did this one and have 6 papers in here. So it will be, 6 pages. So I'm going to need 12. I'm going to need 12 accordion folds. So on my paper, I'm going to put it, of course, this orientation. Sorry, I already had scored this, so I'm just going to show you. So you're going to start at 1/2 an inch, because I just want a little more room on the sides to glue onto the chipboard. So I'm starting at 1/2 an inch, and then I'm going to do every 1/4 inch until I get to 3.5, and that gives me a 1/2 inch on this side. So I'm scoring at I'm scoring at a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2, 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2. I'm sorry, yeah, 3 1/2 was the last one. So, once you got that all scored, then obviously you're going to fold it accordion style. So I had already started folding this one. So you're just going to go back and forth until, I don't think you need to watch me do that until you get this. This is what it's going to look like at the end. So you got your 1/2 inch sides. Now before you put this on, what you want to do, and I had started to glue this on and then the dog started barking, so I stopped the video and started over. But that's okay. So before you want to glue this on, you want to glue your ribbons on. So you can see here how I have the ribbons. This is holding that accordion from just flopping all over the place. And so I want about a 1/2 inch, 1 1/2 inches between my pieces. So what I kind of do is I just line it up here. And then I'm going to go, you can probably think of a better way to do this, but I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So I want about 1 1/4, maybe 1 1/2 inches. I don't even know if I need it that much, but we're going to do 1 1/2. And this is where you want a grid mat, but I forgot to pull it out, so I'm just going to try and eyeball it here. So I've already glued that side, so I'm just going to glue this side down. And I'm just going to make sure sorry, I'm just making sure those ribbons are lined up the way I want them to be. It really doesn't have to be exact because they're never going to be together, close together. And so now, once I've done that, I'm ready to glue on my accordion pieces. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it. So I want about 1/4 of an inch on each side. And now you can use whatever adhesive you want. If you want to use tape, go right ahead. I actually don't have my little box right next to me right now. And so I'm just using kind of what I had on hand for the last project. And so you just want to make sure you get up to the edge there. Just make sure that's lined up on the edge. Okay. And then you really I would just let that dry for a few minutes before I glued the other side on. But I'm just going to go ahead and glue it on right now. doesn't want to stay. Something about using zip dry instead of the artisan glue is that it, or tape, is that it just takes a little bit longer to dry. But you do have a little bit more wiggle room, so it actually might not be a bad idea if you feel like you're going to need a little more wiggle room. And I'm just going to press this together and make sure it is lined up. It's even on both sides. Yep, it is. So, okay, so now you have your, I know, and it's really kind of awkward with this accordion. I think the last one I put the pages in and then I glued it in the book. Because once I had the pages in, it just kind of stuck down a little easier. So I got all the folds put together and I just kind of smushed it down. And you know what, to be honest with you, I actually, when I was doing it before, I put like a big heavy book on top of it just to keep the accordion smushed flat. Because you can always stretch it out later if you embellish your book more. So anyway, so that's my accordion binding, and I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but once you get all your pages in there, it's just gonna come together really good. And so let me show you the pages, how that's gonna work. So to cut my pages, I want them the exact same height as the binding, and I will start with the back, which would be, you don't want to glue it here. That's your cover. You want your cover to be glued here, so don't glue this here. It's going to be this first, and I start from back to front just because it's easier. You're going to start with this one here. So I don't know if you can see that I'm not starting here where it's on the chipboard. I'm starting at this fold right here, and I want it the exact same height as the binding. So I'm going to glue that onto there like so. And then I've cut it so that it would be approximately 1/4 of an inch from this edge here. So the binding was 6 inches, and so this is 6 inches tall by 5 3/4. So the book is 6, so you want this 1/4 of an inch less, so 5 3/4. And so you would just glue all your pages onto this front side of the accordion. So I'm gluing here. I don't know if you can see that with the white, but I'm gluing it here, and then here, and on this side, on this side. So pick a side and glue all the pages on the same side of the accordion. And then you would just cover your book with whatever paper you wanted. And oh, I'm sorry, you know what, don't glue the back papers on the cover yet. You want to make sure that you get your ribbon glued on first and then put your paper on the cover. So anyway, I hope that, and I will do another video when I'm done with this one so you can see how this one came together. And I promise, don't worry, once you get all your pages in, this is gonna lay flat, but it doesn't want to do that now because there's nothing in there holding it down. So it looks pretty crazy. But if you're worried about it not, going flat the way it's supposed to, just like I said, I think when I was gluing it, my other one before, I just stuck a big heavy thing on it and it just went straight down. So anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed watching and hope you try it out and let me know. Thanks. Bye.